with the sports intro.
You mean it's not Clutch with Keon Rose?
It's not Clutch with Keon Rose.
Well, that's a dumb show anyway.
Hey.
No, I'm joking.
Hey, guy.
I love your show, by the way. Like, unironically, I love your show. I was just listening to it, the whole thing. I haven't been able to listen to your whole show in a while. And I sat through the whole thing, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't know what you were talking about for most of it, but I really liked it. So good show, Keon.
Well, thank you. I got triggered at the end there, and
I could tell
that was not a planned reaction. I stumbled across some Facebook posts of Alabama fans.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Alabama fans are kind of the worst.
They're the most enraging, that's for sure. Their team is great, and as a result, they're horrible.
We should name the title of this podcast "Bama Fans Suck."
Boy, that
because I guarantee you that'll get a reaction.
That will get a reaction.
No, we'll call it "Why Bama Fans Suck."
That's true.
There we go.
Or top 10 reasons Bama fans suck.
Well, by the way, I'm Russell Stroud, in case you didn't know.
And I'm Keon Rose.
This is Two Millennials Talk on Nooga Radio. Nooga Radio.
That's going to take some getting used to.
Oh, my goodness. We're right now going through a transition period where we're going from Hot News Talk Radio to Nooga Radio. And all the literature around us still says Hot News Talk Radio. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 papers in front of me that say Hot News Talk Radio. 5. Okay. Yep. In front of me that say Hot News Talk Radio, and I'm expected to call it Nooga Radio. That's going to take some getting used to.
Exactly. It's about as weird as Kevin Durant in a Warriors jersey. Every time I see him, I freak out. Like, that's not right. He should be wearing a different shade of blue.
Or Michael Jordan when he started playing baseball.
That was weird.
He's
Michael
playing
Jordan
the wrong
in black
sport.
And white.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jordan on the Wizards.
Oh, gosh.
Which got me into basketball, but also everyone can attest. Michael Jordan without the ability to dunk is a weird way to watch Michael Jordan.
Isn't that why he was called Air Jordan?
Yes.
So why would you take him? You know, that's like
he could. I mean, it's not like Father Time took his ability to dunk. Let's put it that way. Okay. He just was old at that point.
See, that's why we chose the right profession. You're never too old to talk into a microphone.
Exactly. Vince Scully won the Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
There, and he was 76.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk into a microphone all day. Like some people on radio, there reaches a point in your age where I don't know how old you are in radio. Like I looked up the guy who does CBS News, Harley Carnes. Very cool guy. I found out he's like a really neat guy. I think he did like war reporting in Vietnam to start out. So that's already like,
that's all. Whoa.
Yeah. Like hardcore stuff. And he's like, 60 something or 70 something. I never would have guessed. I thought it was in his mid 40s going by.
Yeah. There is a point where you can't tell. Like
especially if you're in radio, you sort of got the timbre and you got the hardcore radio voice and you just can't tell anymore. Like I could be 30 or I could be 70 and you just don't know it.
It's impossible. Like I think with women in radio, it's easier to tell.
Yeah.
But you have some of these old like veteran reporters and you cannot tell for the life of you. And I wonder how that's going to work for guys that we know are youngish, like Colin.
Yeah.
Where like they're talking and then are we still not going to know how old Colin is at a certain point?
Wait, do we not know how old Colin is?
How old is Colin?
I don't know. I was I know what you mean, but I was just sort of thinking about it. Colin Cowherd, by the way, is a radio show host, in case you don't know. He does sports. He's one of the more popular. Would you say he's one of the most popular?
I would say he is the most popular.
Okay, so he's the most popular radio talk show host about sports, one of the biggest sports commentators out there. How old is he?
Colin Cowherd is...
I should say on the right-hand side there
52.
somewhere. 52. Okay, he's not that old. He's about halfway done. He's about half-baked right now.
Yeah. that's midlife crisis area.
Yeah. And of course, people are living longer, so now your midlife crisis can, by the time we're having our midlife crises, we'll be in our 70s probably.
I hope so.
I really hope so.
Come on, science.
I'll still be a hip kid when I'm 70.
That's the plan.
I'm still a hip millennial by the time I'm 70. There's something that has always bothered me. We can never not be millennials. Like we can't stop being millennials. And that kind of bothers me a little bit. Because while we are two millennials talking, I sort of have a lot of disdain for millennials at the same time.
There's a lot to dislike about our generation. I don't think that if you have ever seen us in public, and I don't mean us as in us two, I mean us as in millennials as a generation in public. Like there's not just some people you just want to grab by the scruff of their collar and just shake them and go, stop it, just stop it.
Damn it, pay attention.
But at the same time, I find it odd, the the weird judgmental attitude, and I'm sure this is not the first time this has ever happened.
I know it's not.
But like where people are like, millennials are the worst. Like, okay, wait a second. We're not the worst.
We couldn't possibly be, because the hippies were much worse than we are.
Like, if you want to talk about people who are in society and not particularly productive in any kind of way, hippies.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, hippies, like, if you were like a hardcore hippie, you're still not doing anything. You never got out of that stage, you know?
And this is not even like a put down of hippies. This is like, this is like hippies are like, if you've met any hippies, I've met a few really cool people. But like, if you're going to go, oh, millennials don't do anything and don't contribute anything, how on earth can you look at the 60s and go, but that one was fine? No, the 20s, like the 2000s, that generation is the worst generation that ever was. But the 60s, no, that's cool. Really?
People born from the late 80s to the late 2000s, those people are the worst. But you know what? The hippies, they're all right. You're right. I don't see the logic. It's kind of dumb.
And I don't remember what show it was on. I was listening to this station a couple of nights ago, and there was a guy going around on the streets asking millennials, basically, what's wrong with your generation? And basically, if he didn't give them the answer that he was looking for, he would just laugh at them and scoff from his ivory tower.
Huh.
And I'm like, okay, look, we never approach this stuff with nuance, ever.
No.
Are millennials the worst generation of all time? No, they are not. We are not the worst generation ever.
We're not even the most narcissistic. I mean, look at the Roaring 20s. Those guys are the most narcissistic, I'd say.
All the while ruining the American economy, by the way.
Right.
Because the Great Depression followed shortly afterwards.
And then wondering what the heck happened. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, we're certainly not the most narcissistic. And people want to blame, technology and everything else. And it's just like, no. You can have a generation with a multitude of factors as to why maybe we're not the greatest generation. I'm not going to argue that we don't have a World War II.
Well, we don't know that yet, though. World War III might pop up, and maybe we'll be the next greatest generation.
I hope not, though.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not going to lie. I'm actively rooting against that as a possibility. That's a title that they can keep, because that was a hard-fought one for them, and I respect everything about that generation, and I don't want anyone to have to respect me in that same way, because I don't want to ever go to war.
Yeah, I'd rather not, have to win any medals or anything. Thanks.
Right. The Medal of Freedom is enough. Which, speaking of which, I saw some of the people on that list.
Kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah, little bit.
Like Tom Hanks, I get, but the rest of them, what?
There's Tom Hanks, which I respect.
Sure.
Robert De Niro. Taxi Driver is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie.
I relate way too much to the taxi driver in that movie.
Just a little bit.
Travis Bickle's my hero.
And then it got a little weird. Like, okay, so he gave it to Michael Jordan, which, fine. Jordan, that's fine.
For brand recognition alone, he should get that award.
Yeah. Then I saw Ellen DeGeneres.
Now, there's where I start to sort of drop off.
Yeah. I'm not...
And, because it's the president who gets to give these things out, you kind of got to wonder, because DeGeneres has been very friendly to the Obama family. And, that's fine. But you got to wonder.
I mean, I don't just wonder. That this is my actual opinion. Okay, it's an opinion. I'm not saying this is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm saying Ellen DeGeneres got it because she's friends with Obama. He's the hip cool president, and she's Ellen.
Well, he's the next hip cool president, because Bill Clinton was the other hip cool president.
That's true.
And before him, he had JFK, who he didn't last very long for some reason.
I mean, I
don't know why that was.
I don't know either. Just a really annoying following.
Just sort of a sudden end to a really illustrious career.
Albeit short.
Short career, yeah.
But I struggle with Ellen. I do.
Still, whatever happened to JFK anyway?
I don't know.
He just sort of dropped off the map.
I heard his family was there when he dropped off too.
Really?
Which is even more depressing.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
You're listening to Two Millennials Talk on Nooga Radio. Man, like, I feel weird saying it.
Nooga Radio.
And also I feel like I should be saying more words, because there are so many words that make up Hot News Talk Radio.
Right.
I feel like I'm not saying enough words.
I had that problem. I do the newscast every day, and I had that problem where I was sort of left to hang to dry for what do you say with your new, newscast for your minute cast. And I was like, because it always used to be Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. I mean, that easy, concise, but
and there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah, there's words. So I just started doing, Nooga Radio News, I'm Russell Stroud, and then continuing on with it because it sounds like CBS, and I like CBS. So
yeah,
whatever.
And also they continue to win Edward R. Murrow's like it's going out of style. So if you want to emulate that group of people, by all means.
Yeah, right.
Please.
I mean, they're kind of the people to emulate because they're kind of the best. And I say that with no irony. I truly believe they are the best in radio news, but that's just me.
So there's not going to be any Two Millennials Talk next week because of Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah. Thanksgiving. So what do you have planned for Thanksgiving, Keon?
I'm going to go to Texas. I'm
What?
going to go see my family.
Okay. Trying to get away from the wildfires.
So I can breathe finally. I've been hacking all week.
Me too. It's been terrible. Like my throat's just dry.
I don't think I've had in this week so much water and so little success for how much water I'm drinking.
Yeah, like I should be on a marathon or something, but instead it's just trying to survive in an office that doesn't have very good filtration.
This isn't great. And I think you had a post about Chattanooga coming with its own Instagram filter.
It does, though, if you look at the
that's
pictures.
what it looks like.
So if you're not in the know, we live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now I don't want to deviate too much from Thanksgiving, but we live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the two of us. Come and find us and kill us. And we are kind of in the middle of a crisis with a bunch of wildfires going on, like in people's backyards, actually, literally in people's backyards. People I know have fires burning in their backyards, and we're in a serious drought, so there's not a whole lot of water that can put out these fires. So you get a forecast of rain, and it's like 0.3 inches, and people get all excited about 0.3 of an inch of rain. So, I mean, like, the wildfires are basically going to continue on for the rest of forever, it seems like, and that's not very cool, man.
Yeah. Like the drought is something that everyone's been commenting on, like just people that I've talked to in just stores and stuff. This drought has gotten people so out of whack with even their own daily routines. There was a guy I was talking to the other day that was basically telling me the reason why he mows his lawn is mostly to clear the leaves that fall off the trees than to actually mow the grass. Because if there were no leaves, he'd never mow his lawn. He wouldn't have to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like you walk outside, if you've ever taken off your shoes and been barefoot and walked out into a yard recently, like dust kicks up and the grass crunches underneath your feet like you're walking on like Lay's potato chips that's like in sand. It doesn't feel very good.
The quality of our air also.
We are in a code red, by the way, for air quality.
This is some LA status stuff.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, Chattanoogans are really taking it in stride, and I think Chattanoogans sort of have a reputation now for taking basically everything in stride.
We try to very, very much. Like when it snowed recently and we had those ice days.
And by the way, I just want to point out, Chattanooga's never prepared for any kind of natural disaster.
Why is this the case?
Because when it did snow, all the snowplows were like out of commission. They're like, we got to order salt from the next county over.
And it's just one of those really weird things. And I believe the weather forecast for it was off by an entire week.
It was.
So supposed to show up one weekend, and then there was nothing. And then the next weekend, we were all iced in.
I did the forecast for that week. And I was like, yeah, no chance of rain or snow until next week. And then like the next day, I couldn't leave my house because it was snowing. So like, what? Weather Underground, you lied to me.
Oh, man.
So we had it bad last year with the snow. And now we got it bad this year with wildfires everywhere. Like, what's happening?
I don't understand.
We live, if this is hell, it's the best hell, I suppose. But like, it's pretty hellish nonetheless.
Yes. And like, I have to give it to Chattanooga. This is a trooper of a city. Like we just pushed through. I remember during the ice days too, a lot of people still tried to go to like work.
Yeah, I went to work.
I was still at Chat State at the time, and the first day they said basically make your own decision as to whether or not you want to come to class. They didn't actually officially close school until the day after. So like, people still tried to go to school.
Well, my friend goes to Tennessee Tech up in Cookeville, and they were affected pretty much the same way by the blizzard back then. And they didn't cancel classes, and people were like slipping on the ice and breaking their tailbones and stuff. And then like people were just laughing about it on social media. Like, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like, no.
What? No.
I mean, it is, but it isn't at the same time.
It's funny, but also cancel classes, man. Like if it's gonna be iced over and people are gonna be slipping and sliding everywhere, cancel classes.
And the funny thing is, like, you talk to people like old timers from around here, they've never seen anything like this before. So it's like, it's bad if even the old people are like, I've never seen anything like this before.
It's kind of apocalyptic, really.
Yeah, actually, like 2016, you were talking about on your show, 2016 is like kind of a terrible year.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. We had all the celebrities dying, all the sports teams sucking, except for frickin' Alabama. Just everything.
Which I just think continues to add on to why 2016 is a horrible year.
For us, it just makes it worse because I'm a UGA fan and you're a...
I mean, I'm a Longhorn fan.
Okay.
But trust me, 2009 in Alabama, never forget.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. And they never let you forget either.
No. So that whole thing there, me and Alabama do not get along.
Yeah. So what's your feeling about UGA, like in terms of cordiality?
I
won't be mad if
Texas and Georgia never play each other.
Yeah.
So I have nothing against UGA.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I mean, I won't cry if you said you hated her.
We're cool.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
By all rights, I should be like a Vols fan or something because I live so close to Tennessee. Like I live right on the border. But you know what? I live in Georgia, so I'm a UGA fan. Bulldogs all the way.
Yeah. No, be that. Steve, our sales representative here at the station, huge UGA fan. We were at his house last week.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
His man cave is fantastic, and also
it's UGA Central, man. Like it's just dogs, man, everywhere. Love it. That's dogs with a W, by the way.
Obviously, you Northerners. I'm not gonna lie. When I first moved here, and I was like, that's not how you spell. Okay.
Yes, it is.
I learned very quickly that is in fact how you spell dogs.
I was talking with a really good. Don't drink and drive, people. I was talking with a really good friend of mine today about accents, and she's not from around here. She's from a different country up north, and Iceland. And no, she's from Canada. And she was talking about just talking about different accents, and I was saying like. Other places have different dialects and they speak things differently. They say different words. But the one thing that I will always hold to is that the South is right about how it pronounces things, and it cannot be wrong. For instance, they are not shopping carts. They are buggies.
I can't do it.
They are not pill bugs. They are roly-polies.
I'm not going to lie, because I also work at Office Depot. When I call a shopping cart a buggy, people look at me weird. Because there's something about how I say the word buggy.
How do you say it?
I just say buggy. But like there's something that I'm not saying right with it. That's just like, you shouldn't say that. You should call it a shopping cart. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Are you saying it with a certain amount of irony? Like, here's your buggy.
Right.
Here's your buggy.
Just dripping with sarcasm. Take your buggy right now, sir.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want your shop? Oh, I'm sorry. Buggy, sir. You want your buggy, sir?
I don't know how I'm saying it. It's just coming off like people aren't like stopping.
Yeah.
But there's just a little bit of a side eye there. Just like, you? Really? So
And the thing is, you sound like you're from here just as much as I sound like I'm from here.
Right. And you're actually from here.
I was born in Erlanger Hospital in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm from here, man, like 100%. But I don't sound like it all that often. But I say buggy like it's a thing, because buggy is what it has always been. Pop is not pop. It is called soda or Coke. That's also an acceptable thing to call it.
Soda is fine. It's those Midwesterners calling things pop. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I went on vacation in Michigan, and they call it pop up there, and I was really confused. The lady at the restaurant was like, "What kind of pop do you want?" I'm thinking like, "Huh? What?
Corn pops?
Yeah,
popcorn."
And I asked the dude at the store where the buggies were, and he smirked at me, and he's like, "The shopping carts are over there."
Oh, stop!
It's like, come on, man.
That's just messed up.
You know what I mean?
You just patch that in your mind, sir, and just tell me what I want to know.
I guarantee you I've got at least 2 more IQ points than you, my man. So let's just get off that high horse. So what's in Texas for you with Thanksgiving?
It's going to be... Okay, so my brother's in charge of cooking Thanksgiving dinner because my mom will be working basically all the day before. So she's going to be tired. We're going to let her rest. That's just how it is. And then my brother's going to be cooking. Now, my brother cooked Thanksgiving dinner here when he was in Chattanooga last year, and he cooked the turkey, and the turkey was fine. Like, the turkey tasted actually good. The problem with it was he did not enjoy any of the preparation that came with making a turkey. So he will not be making a turkey this year.
What?
It's going to be, I'm going to have Thanksgiving with no turkey. It's going to be lamb shanks.
Lamb shanks?
Yes, like cuts of lamb.
They stab you in prison?
Lamb chop.
Yeah, he was a victim of lamb shanking, I'm afraid.
So can you imagine that? You just, oh, look, it's lamb chop. And then you just get stabbed 3 times in the gut, and lamb chop steps over your dead body.
I'm going to stab you. You're going to get shanked.
Stabs that never end.
We tried a goose one Thanksgiving, my family.
Yeah?
The thing I've learned about my family is whenever we try something new, it ends up catastrophic. But for some reason, my family always wants to try something new. And, Lord love them, it actually is kind of endearing, so I don't mind too much. But whenever we try something new, it ends up catastrophic. And the duck, I don't want to blame my mom for it because my mom did an exemplary job, but there's just something about duck that's different. You can't cook it the same way as turkey.
You absolutely cannot.
And I think it may have been her first time cooking duck. And again, like, I have no problem with my mom for making mistakes on duck. Like, I don't know what to do with it.
I feel like most people make mistakes on duck.
Yeah, and it just didn't turn out that great. So, it was more of a funny thing than like, oh, my mom messed up Thanksgiving thing. It was just like, haha. Because my family, things always go wrong for us anyway. So when they do, we just sort of learn to have a sense of humor about it.
I mean, you have to. But like, when it comes to stuff happening, especially with duck, because like duck is just one of those birds that's just, it doesn't operate the same way, like not even birds, as any of the other meats. Duck doesn't even operate like that. I don't even know what to tell you.
It's like pheasant or something. Like, it's just different somehow. It's more exotic. You wouldn't expect duck to be, but it is.
Right. Like with duck, like there's a reason why when you like make stuff like foie gras or whatever, like you have to basically overfeed the duck slowly, because if the duck panics, you can taste the panic in the meat.
It's true though, because like I've heard about if you kill a deer and it runs away, you're like, oh darn, the deer ran away. Like, you want to drop it, like, boom. Because if it runs away, you can screw that up, apparently, from what I've heard.
It tastes different. You can actually taste the fear in the meat, which is just,
yeah.
And it's not delicious unless you're some kind of psycho.
Have you ever had bear before?
No.
I've had bear. I went up to Canada, like I say. It's one of my, I don't know why I always talk about when I go up to Canada, but it seems like the most interesting things happened to me when I went there.
I feel like Canada is secretly the most interesting country.
It probably is, actually. But when I went there, I had bear stew that was made by a guy who shot the bear in his front yard. And it was really, really good. Bear tastes a lot like beef, I found out.
Huh.
So if you ever have a chance to have bear, I don't know what your stance is on eating bear, but it's really good if you ever get a chance to eat it and not feel bad about it.
Fair enough. I mean, that just sounds interesting. Also, the story of I ate bear one time.
That's the thing. That's the story for the grandkids.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't synthesized either, like your fancy meats.
And I was a bear with true grit. So,
they tried to kill me, but I killed it first.
This is Two Millennials Talk. I'm Keon Rose.
I'm Russell Stroud.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle. He's been around lately.
I love Dave Chappelle.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? If not, talk to Covenant Group Insurance, especially if you like helping people. Call and learn how you can work for yourself, but not by yourself. Intense but free training, plus a fantastic lead program, plus office support equals your success, your prosperity. Gross at least $75,000 your first year selling insurance. Call Steve or Jada for a confidential interview. That's 855-8484. Maybe the most important call you'll make all year.
And now to our reporter in the field.
We asked Ray at Ray's Plumbing what's important for homeowners to know.
Some field line systems can cost upwards of $10,000. The bottom line is to save yourself money down the road. I would definitely recommend everybody with a septic that is not on county or city sewer to have an inspection done by a qualified professional. It'd be great if nobody did inspections on them for all plumbing companies. That's what we do to make a living. Not to scare anyone, but it should be in the back of your mind. The danger is the field line failing and costing thousands upon thousands of dollars and tearing your yard up. By preventative maintenance, you're saving yourself a large headache that may displace yourself and your family. That happens more often than you think. The waste is designed to stay in the tank, and that waste will build up over time. Even with treatment, we have to help that waste break down. Ultimately, preventative maintenance is the key that will keep you from spending $5,000 to $10,000 on replacing your septic system. The bottom line is to save yourself money down the road.
Call Ray at Ray's Plumbing, 421-6341, 421-6341.
Looking for a dream home, or maybe you're just a first-time home buyer? Let an agent get you started today on your house search. If you're a real estate agent looking for a change, see what Exit can do for you. The agents at Exit Realty Scenic City are confident they can sell your house. They can do it in 99 days or less. If no one works harder for you than agents at Exit Realty Scenic City, licensed in Tennessee and Georgia. Exit sells quickly all types of commercial and residential properties and vacant land. Looking for a dream home, or maybe you're just a first-time home buyer? Let an agent get you started today on your house search. If you're a real estate agent looking for a change, see what Exit can do for you. Training, technology, branding, culture, and financial freedom. Again, Exit Realty Scenic City. Call 423-551-EXIT to learn more. Call 423-551-EXIT and learn more.
Terms and restrictions may apply.
Cash, 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 and more cash. Rick Davis has the cash when you sell gold, silver, diamonds, rings, and jewelry. Sell Rick your precious metals today and lock in your price. Hey, Rick Davis will trade your cash for shiny, brilliant, and heavy gold. Gold cheaper now by $100 an ounce. Join the Rick Davis Silver Bonanza too. Prices so low, the Lone Ranger is bound to gallop in, Kimosabe.
Hey-ho, silver, away!
The markets are changing, so buy now. Cash, 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 and more cash for your silver and gold, gold, gold. Rick Davis, 5301 Brainerd Road. That's 5301 Brainerd Road. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Oh, and cash, cash, cash. You know where it is.
Hey-ho, silver, away!
Nooga Radio News, I'm Russell Stroud. A 17-year-old boy was on his way to school on his bicycle when he was hit while crossing a 5-lane highway. The driver said she couldn't see him until he was right in front of her, couldn't avoid hitting him. She braked and swerved, but it was too late. His twisted body was found in the middle lane. Police took him to the hospital, but it was too late. He died. 2 young children found unconscious at the bottom of a swimming pool in Bradley County. Police say they wandered away from their home and fell inside, where they almost drowned. They were airlifted to the hospital, where they're now recovering. The youngest has said words, while the oldest is moving. This is a good sign. No charges are being pressed. The Hamilton County Commission, just like the City Council, is now considering regulation on short-term rentals. They're wanting to add teeth to state regulations, which are already in existence. This would affect users of Airbnb. You, too, can make a child's dream come true. Just go to the Chick-fil-A, pick out a tag on the Christmas tree, buy some presents, and make a child's dream come true. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Nooga Radio News.
Expect mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime. Cool again overnight, lows 40 to 43. For Friday, lots of sunshine, still a little hazy, but very warm and dry. Highs upper 70s. Tomorrow night, more clouds. Could see a shower or two early Saturday morning, then breezy, colder for the weekend. Check out JCPenney and stack on the holiday savings and save 20% off with your JCPenney credit card and coupon on select items throughout the store. That's getting your pennies worth at JCPenney. And I'm Swarm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott Powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops the right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
The voice of NASCAR.
Are you okay?
These headphones have a really strong spring, and it flat back and hit me in the eye.
That's why you should be watching this on YouTube.
Watch us on YouTube so you can see me injure myself in various ways. I cut my thumb open trying to open a bottle this like an hour, no, maybe like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere. Not very cool.
Is this just Russell injures himself, the show?
That's every day. My every day is me somehow managing to injure myself badly in an office where I sit at a computer all day.
Unbelievable. But
I get bored and decide to do things, and then I just like stab myself with a scissor or something.
How can I make the time pass faster? Ah, yes, self-mutilation. The hobby of many a man.
Cut my life in 2 pieces. My anthem. That's my alarm. 5:15 a.m. every morning. Cut my life in 2 pieces.
That isn't a very effective way. I would wake up every single time.
My eyes just bloodshot open in a cold sweat. I'm like, oh no, not again.
How do I make it stop?
It's another day. No. I was thinking about changing it to get down with the sickness, but that'd be just a little bit too much. So I was going to change it to chop suey. So every time I wake up, wake up. I'm trying to like slam the alarm button. You want to slam?
I do want to.
I do wanna. So this is Two Millennials Talk on Nooga Radio. I'm Russell Stroud.
I'm Keon Rose.
And so you want to talk about Color Rush for half a sec?
Yeah, because the NFL has insisted on doing this for Thursday Night Football.
And today is Thursday night.
Yeah, we've got the Panthers and the Saints, and the NFL Color Rush uniforms are ugly, just plain ugly, just straight up
ugly.
Can't get past it. I'm really glad that I haven't had to sit down and watch the Redskins in what would be their Color Rush uniform, because they're burgundy and gold. So I don't even want to know the assault on my eyes.
Burgundy and gold is like a 1970s like Cadillac interior. It's driven by like a guy with a purple hat and a leopard print feather in it. Like, hey baby, I got my burgundy and gold car outfitted.
Which makes sense, because that was the beginning of the good years for the Redskins.
Was it?
Yeah, basically. The best years for the Redskins, like the 70s on into early 90s. And then it's been awful ever since. But at least I don't have to watch them in the Color Rush uniforms. The Saints look fine because they're the team wearing white.
They look like Master Chief from Halo.
A little bit, yeah.
It's kind of weird.
But this is actually the one I've got pulled up on my computer. This is the Oregon Ducks uniform.
Oh, never mind. Oregon Ducks look like Master Chief from Halo.
But this is...
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, Oregon's had some great uniforms. Just jumping to college right now, because in our conversation about the Color Rush uniforms, we were talking about how Oregon changes their uniform basically annually in an attempt to still stay relevant and get the attention of people. And they've had some bad uniforms, and they've had a lot of really cool ones.
Yeah. I mean, with a new design every year, you're bound to have a bad one and a good one. Like Apple has terrible design, and then Apple has really good design.
Yeah. And it's ups and downs, though. I feel like Apple is trending more down with everything that they make now,
both in stocks and in design, but that's another story.
Yeah, which we did cover that story. We were already there.
We covered that before it was cool, because we're millennial hipsters.
And we're there.
I'm so hipster that I sold Bear Stearns before it went under. That's a 2008 joke for you.
There you go. Man, that'd be the kind of hipster to be, though.
That would
also make you a very rich hipster.
It's like there's a Simpsons episode where Martin's dad he works in the stock market apparently, and it's like Take Your Kid to Work Day, and it's the road trip episode. So if watch Bart on the Road, it's one of my favorite episodes. But anyway, he gives Martin like $10 to invest into the futures market just for fun. So Martin runs out and goes, soy, 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 and all this, like, everyone starts yelling soy, 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 and he ends up making $1 million. Like, I want to be that kid who can just run out and be like, Nintendo, Nintendo, and everyone starts shouting Nintendo, Nintendo, and I make $400. Like,
right.
I'd be happy with that.
That's the dream right there.
Really. But I'd end up being the kid who yells like Amiga, Commodore, and then it just crashes.
Right.
Darn it. Netscape.
Just end up on the wrong side of oh
my goodness.
Oh, I got a Redskins Color Rush uniform glimpse.
That's ugly.
It's horrible.
That's like a bumblebee from Transformers.
It makes this is Trent Williams in the picture. It makes Trent Williams look like he was on his way to the game and basically just tripped in a vat of mustard. Oh my goodness.
How can you tell that's Trent? What's his name?
His number, and also I know his tattoos because I watch way too much football.
Oh, so you know 71 and tattoos means Trent, that guy.
Trent Williams.
Why can't I remember Williams? You think
of all the parts of his name?
If his name was like, you know, I don't know, like
John Doe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. Like I started like running through names in my head, and they all sounded really racist. So I'm like,
oh, check your privilege, sir. Check it.
Well, I mean, like I would say it if it was just you and me, but we got like the radio.
Yeah, we have a radio audience, and you can't really.
Yeah, there's a line to be drawn. But we were talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle doesn't care about the line, and that's why I respect him so much.
Right. The apologizing for what it is that you said, that like that.
Don't apologize for jokes.
He doesn't, or I think for like a lot of things, especially because when a comedian makes their joke, what they're basically saying is, here I am, this is what I think, and this is why I think this is funny, and you shouldn't apologize for that. I talked about it earlier in the week on my show about Mike Evans, the wide receiver from Tampa Bay, who was protesting the election of Donald Trump.
Okay.
He took a knee on the sideline, and then like the next week apologized and walked it back. And I was just like, see, now, I don't have a problem with you protesting. I have a problem with you not believing in what you protest enough to at least consistently do it.
That's like market trends show that this is unpopular. I take back my stance on civil rights.
Right.
You know, it's like you're a politician in the 60s. You're like, you know, actually civil rights are not, you know, I don't go for that. I take back that whole march thing with Martin Luther King. I didn't mean that.
I did not intend for that to happen.
That was a grievous mistake on my part. I apologize to the people of Alabama.
But that would be like if Martin Luther King did a march, found out that was an unpopular stance, and then just never marched ever again.
Martin Luther's like, you know what? Never mind.
Actually, I'm not saying I was wrong. I'm saying this is kind of tough.
Well, Malcolm X kind of did that though, to a lesser degree, where he's like, you know, kill Whitey, and then he's like, actually, never mind. I take that back.
Yeah, but it didn't happen in a week. It was something that happened over the course of his life, where he was like, you know what? I might be wrong about this.
Well, you know, Malcolm X did not really say kill Whitey, but
no, but he did have very extreme views, and then there's a whole thing there where one of his quotes is, you know, you kill my dog, I kill your cat. So his basically was saying, if you come at me with violence, I will respond to you in violence.
Yeah,
and he shifted over his life. I'm not saying he's necessarily wrong, but he shifted with the violence is the way to solve this problem stance over the course of his life.
And thank goodness that didn't catch on.
Right. Because it would be a lot of dead cats.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking on the air right now. You'd be shooting at each other.
Well, maybe. I'd be in Guyana still, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Just hiding it out.
I'd be shooting at Guyana.
The entire nation.
My family would still be rich. And we'd still have had our money from the 1860s, and I'd be firing at you with my Dole-branded battleship that I bought on the black market.
Well, there you go.
Because America would be an anarcho-capitalist society, I hope. I'd shoot you with my cruise missiles that I bought.
Oh, man. So, like, this is Two Millennials Talk on Nooga Radio. My most recent sighting of Dave Chappelle was on Beyond Magic, which is a new show with David Blaine. And in this part of the show, David Blaine basically is freaking out a room full of athletes and stars, basically. Dave Chappelle, Drake is there, Steph Curry's there, Jimmy Butler, who plays for the Bulls, he's there. And
wait a minute, I'm starting to notice a trend between all these people.
What's the trend?
They're all well, you know, they're all of a certain
they're people of color.
They're people of color, all these people.
Yeah, I think it must have been, it feels like it must have been recently.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors did play the Raptors like the other night, and that would be a situation where Steph Curry and Drake would potentially be in the same room together.
I'm just saying, I feel a little bit offended. They should have thrown a Hemsworth brother in there or something.
Just to diversify it a little bit.
Just to diversify, just a
Bradley Cooper.
I'd settle for Oscar Isaac. I mean, just throw somebody in there, is what I'm saying. But see, you know I'm kidding.
I do know you're kidding. Well, like, I feel like, but like, don't apologize.
No, I'm
just
not.
because other people don't know you're kidding. But I understand the joke.
But some people will be like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. Like, it's a freaking joke. Calm down.
Well, it's a joke, but it's also a joke based on like something of truth, which is that anytime you get a movie or a TV show or something like that, and like everybody in the show is white, like you do start looking, at least me being a black person, you do start looking and going, huh. There's none of us in the show.
Well, one of them might be Native American. You don't know.
Would he be 1/8 Cherokee?
Well, like Johnny Depp, he's part Native American, so you can't really complain if he's in it.
I mean, fair enough. But like, for me, it's just a thing where it's just like there's just a lot of shows where like the cast is just entirely
like the Goldbergs. What's up with that?
Yeah, right. Really, not one black Goldberg?
I find that ridiculous.
I can't buy that at all.
So, but Dave Chappelle was on this.
He was there, and David Blaine is basically saying, okay, somebody's thought of an animal. Please draw this animal, and they've drawn the animal, and the animal looks vaguely like a frog because drawing animals it's hard. And
I can tell you that
he's like, okay, frog, and then he just starts coughing up frogs. He just takes a water glass, he puts it to his mouth, and then just spits out a frog. And then, everybody in the room starts freaking out. It's black people in the room, which I'm going to sit here and declare the stereotypes that nobody else gets to declare. A bunch of black people in a room looking at magic. It's like just everybody's losing their minds. Okay, like it's the craziest thing that anybody's ever seen.
And I'm picturing like because I haven't seen this, I'm picturing like the rap battle thing. I broke up with my ex-girl. They all, freak out. That's what I'm picturing in my head. That's the wrong number.
It wasn't that crazy because I've certainly seen crazier, and certainly rap battles would be the place to find that, like a place where everybody just loses it, and you're like, really over this? But he spit out the frog, and then he tried to hand the glass to Steph Curry, and Steph was just cramming himself into a corner because he did not want to touch the glass.
They're frogs, man. Who cares?
But just the fact that it came out of his mouth. And then David Blaine obviously freaked out everybody in the room because he was like, I don't know, tastes kind of like chicken. And then somebody went, this dude said it tastes like chicken. And then he spit out another frog. The entire room went berserk. Yeah, no, everybody just lost it. And Dave Chappelle was there trying not to be freaked out and just be kind of calm. And it was just not working. Like he was obviously freaked out also.
I like that Dave Chappelle is the one trying to stay calm in this situation.
Right.
Like he's probably seen crazier things in his lifetime than a guy throwing up frogs.
Probably. And he was just trying to keep it cool, and he couldn't do it. But I
could do it.
It's weird. David Blaine has this weird mannerism about him that it makes weird stuff look weirder.
He seems like the proverbial like spaghetti falling out of pockets guy. Just like if he could do magic, then that's what he would be like. Like I go to GameStop and it's really awkward, and I'm like, like you go to order a movie ticket and he says, enjoy your movie, and you say, you too, and you're like, and then you like make the movie ticket disappear, or like you pull it from behind his ear and walk away. That's the only way to remedy that situation.
Guess what pasta's in my pocket?
If you said ziti, you were right. Like that's people who are really socially awkward should just learn magic, and it immediately makes every social situation less awkward.
Oh man!
If you're on an awkward date, I'm telling you, listen to this. If you're on an awkward date,
I've been on some awkward dates.
Pull out some cards.
Oh yeah, magic would fix everything.
Magic will fix it. If you're like, you do the kiss thing, or you lean in for it, and she's not having it. The ultimate save.
Is this your card?
No, the ultimate save is to pull like a joker from behind her ear and say, just joking. And that'll immediately remedy the situation. I'm telling you, I've done this. It's the only way. I learned magic.
I
learned magic for this sole reason, that and to win in gambling.
That's a good reason.
I can fold origami cubes.
I've been on some awkward dates. You mean to tell me I could have mitigated all of that with magic?
Yes, easily. The thing where you put the quarter through the table. If you're like debating about who's going to tip, you do the thing where you're like, oh, check this out. You put the bottle cap or a quarter, you make it go through the table, You know, you've got it up here in this hand, you go bam, and it's in the hand that's under the table. And then you're like, you arrange it so it's like, okay, we'll flip a coin to figure out who's gonna tip. And you're like, bam, it's heads. You're tipping. That's how you do it. I'm telling you, I've done this 1,000 times.
You've actually done this.
It's how you do it.
Well,
that's the only way.
I feel like this advice came a little late for me.
Well, things worked out pretty well for you, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about all the awkwardness beforehand.
Oh,
the result. I like the result.
See, if you had taken me on your awkward dates, I could have performed magic.
You could have performed magic and thus made them less awkward. No, this is my friend Russell, also magician.
He's here to perform magic for you. So if I start to see things are going to get a little bit awkward, I'll save the day and perform magic for you.
Russell, coin trick.
I'm like, all right, buddy. Looks like I'm not tipping.
Looks like I'm not tipping. There you go.
There's only two sides of this coin. I'm already counting myself out of this. So it looks like, the girl's tipping yet again. It's the third time this week.
Oh,
ain't that just the luck of the draw? Magic is the best way to get yourself out of a bad date.
I should have known.
I'm telling you, man.
I started to learn magic when I was a kid, but I didn't stick with it. I had my parents buy me this book of magic tricks, and they're just hard. Like if you practice, they're not. But if you don't practice, like I just wanted to do it.
You can't be a lazy magician.
Correct. I was a very lazy magician, and therefore not a magician.
And therefore bad at dates.
Yeah. No, it's all stacked up. Like when I was 9 and I quit trying to learn magic, that was, I don't want to say the beginning of the end, but like I made my life harder. I took a tougher path as a result.
If you had persevered until at least 16, your life would have been so much easier. Because college assignments, make them disappear before your professor's eyes.
Yeah.
What assignment? It's gone.
You know what? You get an A for that.
Exactly.
You just disappeared your 25-page paper.
That's how I got through all the job interviews I did beforehand. I went to McDonald's and I applied for a job there, and I was like, application disappeared. Now you got to hire me. They didn't, unfortunately, but that actually ended up for the better.
One or two situations where magic doesn't help you, except maybe it did.
Well, the thing about magic, yeah, that's exactly the thing about magic, because magic operates in the favor of the user. You just don't know it. So if you lose at magic, if something goes wrong for you in magic, it's actually for the best, believe it or not.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So, if your magic does not save your date, then it just was not meant to be. You got to let it go. Just let it go. Magic is telling you, don't do it.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
She probably has dead cats in her basement or something. Just don't do it.
Or many living cats, which is also a problem.
Really, more than 2 is too much. Too many.
I agree with that.
Too much cat.
I mean, I don't like cats, so this is already like the beginning. For me, any number of cats is too many cats. But I understand that there are people who like cats, so I see the 2-cat rule.
Yeah, I mean that's just my personal rule. That's my stipulation for how I deal with people. If you have more than 2 cats, I'm sorry, I can't be friends with you.
No, I get that.
But yeah, Dave Chappelle was on. He's sort of seeing a new resurgence, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's just I guess this phase in his career, he's kind of older. He's taking things a little bit easier.
Voice is a lot worse.
Yeah,
a little different anyway.
It's certainly more gravelly.
I was saying earlier, he sounds like Biz Markie without the lisp.
A little bit. He's got he's got the timing still.
He does.
So he's still a great comedian.
He's an amazing comedian. Like he will be, and we were talking about this earlier. Donald Trump getting elected and that whole thing. We were saying like, this is the best time to be a comedian in America. I don't get all the people who are like, I'm leaving.
No, stay.
If you're a comedian, you're an idiot if you leave now.
Dude, we would also be idiots if we left. This is our job. We talk.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that's going to give you more things to talk about than that guy.
Because Hillary Clinton, I mean, like you were saying, stuff from her, like you got to go all conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat to get into like real discussions about how ridiculous she is. With Donald Trump, at least it's pretty apparent. I'm not even bashing Donald Trump by saying that. I'm just saying like the ridiculous things about him, whatever there is pretty out in the open.
Yeah, it's all on the table.
Yeah.
It's been on the table for years. So yeah, no, that's if you're a person who talks, Donald Trump is the greatest thing that ever happened to you.
Audiobook narrators are loving Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know, right? Did you? Oh, we're running out of time. But Megyn Kelly wrote a book about basically the campaign and sexual harassment and everything else. The campaign book, a part of the book, is pretty. Like, she couldn't wait for Donald Trump to be president so she could release that. That's what I'm saying.
I'll say I couldn't be more disinterested in anything Megyn Kelly could write.
Pretty much. And that's it for Two Millennials Talk here on Nooga Radio.
That whizzed by.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm Russell Stroud.
I'm Keon Rose.
It's going to be a good week for me. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing the new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
And now to our reporter in the field.
We asked Ray at Ray's Plumbing what's important for homeowners to know.
Some field line systems can cost upwards of $10,000. The bottom line is to save yourself money down the road. I would definitely recommend everybody with a septic that is not